only about 30 miles southwest of Las Vegas sits Goodsprings, Nevada. Goodsprings used to be a town with 1,000+ residents, and today it's a ghost town. How did this once bustling Wild West town with a mining, milling, and cattle industry fall? Goodsprings is well known today due to the 2010 post-apocalyptic video game Fallout New Vegas. The game sold over 12 million copies worldwide and is enjoyed by a large cult audience to this day. The game's rendition of Goodsprings is extremely similar to its real-life counterpart, even featuring the famous Pioneer Saloon as the quote-unquote Prospector Saloon in-game. Goodsprings is named after Joseph Good, a local cattle rancher and businessman who often brought his cattle to the spring in the area, hence the name Goodsprings. The town was founded in 1900 and was primarily a cattle ranching and mining/prospecting community. It was recorded by the 1900 U.S. Census to have only 13 inhabitants. It should be noted that Goodsprings had never been recorded on the census prior to 1900. Prior to 1900, Goodsprings was a tent community of mostly prospectors. The tent community of Goodsprings came to be due to the 1882 discovery of gold and the subsequent establishment of the Yellow Pine mining district in the area. In 1883, another gold mine, Keystone Mine, would be established. Despite being a tent community, they still maintained a post office, a mill, and a saloon. The post office was established by Samuel Yount in 1899, who served as Goodsprings' local postmaster until 1914. By 1904, Lincoln County, Nevada, established Goodsprings Township. Soon after the designation, Salt Lake City Mining Company began major prospecting initiatives in the area. The area would become a center of lead, silver, copper, zinc, and gold mining. In 1909, Goodsprings would join the newly formed Clark County after the division of Lincoln County. The population really began expanding in 1910 after the construction of the local railroad connecting the town to Jean, Nevada. Jean was a commercial center in the area, thus provided a big economic boom to Goodsprings. In 1910, the U.S. Census had Goodsprings with a recorded population of 129, meaning that they had 10x'd their population in the past decade from a mere 13. By 1913, the town had grown large enough to where a school was required, and the Goodsprings Schoolhouse was constructed. This schoolhouse was placed on the National Register of Historical Places in 1992 and is still a functioning school today. The schoolhouse, much like the rest of the town, gained fame from its featuring in the video game Fallout New Vegas, and today doubles as both a tourist attraction and a place of learning. Due to the start of World War I, the demand for minerals increased dramatically, leading to an economic boom for Goodsprings. By 1915, the town had a luxury hotel, general store, and around 1,000 residents. In 1918, the town even got its own newspaper. But by the end of World War I, the demand for metals in the U.S. had dropped, and mining operations in the area had slowed. This negatively impacted the local economy, and the population, as a result, plummeted. Despite the quick fall, the town continued to have consistent growth over the next 3 decades. The community was recorded to have 356 individuals in 1920. By 1930, that number had gone up to 454, and by 1940, it had topped off at 528. Over these 3 decades, life as usual continued, albeit slower, with some moderate growth. It's important to note that State Route 53 was the first major state highway to run to Goodsprings. This highway was constructed in 1935. Today, the highway is known as State Route 161. The designation was changed from 53 to 61 in 1976, and it continues to function till today. With the coming of the Second World War, mineral demand was higher than ever, and this served as a boom to the mining output of the general area surrounding Goodsprings. Despite this, Goodsprings' population itself had begun to shrink. It fell to only 356 individuals by 1950, and then by 1960 fell to a dismal 216 individuals. This is less than half its population in 1940. One might theorize that this shrinking is largely due to the massive growth of Las Vegas in the 40s and 50s. It's likely that many people in Goodsprings moved to the casino town for greater job opportunities. With President Eisenhower rolling out interstates nationwide, in 1957, Interstate 15 was built, which connected Goodsprings through State Route 53 to its first interstate in history. Despite this temporary decline, Goodsprings would enjoy healthy population growth and an expansion of infrastructure for the next 2 decades. In 1968, Goodsprings' first library would open in a living room of an old mining house. By 1970, the population had begun growing again, reaching 314 individuals. But by 1980, Goodsprings had reached its apex. According to U.S. Census, the town had a population over 1,000. Between 1980 and 1990, Goodsprings had a steep decline. In 1990, the U.S. Census no longer considered it a census-designated area, likely meaning the population had diminished to extremely low levels. This is reflected by articles posted throughout the 1990s, noting how Goodsprings had recently become a ghost town. This fall was due to 2 main factors, the first being the closing of the last mines in the area during the 70s and 80s. The shutting down of these mines deeply damaged the local area's economy. The second reason is Las Vegas pulling residents away. Simply put, people were just moving away to find better opportunities. By the late 90s, things were looking better for Goodsprings. In 2000, Goodsprings was brought back as a census-designated area with a recorded population of 232 individuals. The population remained stable through the 2010s, being recorded at 229 on the 2010 census. Unfortunately, by 2020, Clark County has begun considering stripping funding from the Goodsprings School due to budget constraints, and the town's population has dipped to a mere 162 inhabitants in 2020. Fortunately, despite budget constraints, as of 2022, Goodsprings School is still open and teaching children. The 100-plus-year-old Pioneer Saloon is still a tourist site and a functioning business till this day. To add to the good news, the town has adopted a quote-unquote New Vegas Day as an annual weekend party celebrating the video game Fallout New Vegas. The town hosts drinking and live music from the game. Both townfolk and fans of the video game series partake in the festivities every year. Today, many of the townfolk own local businesses and commute to Vegas for work. Next time you're down in Vegas, show Goodsprings some love. It's only about a half-hour drive, and it's a beautiful piece of Americana that might just survive and maybe thrive thanks to a small piece of pop culture. I would like to thank Kathy Weiser and her article with Legends of America for the amazing content that provided great information for this video. Additionally, please take a look at the Goodsprings Historical Society webpage and the VicHarkness Blog for great coverage of the town. I'll be linking them below in the description and encourage all of you to check it out. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment down below for what content you'd want to see next.